for life. Thank you for everything. I stand in grace and gratitude. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. All I have and all I feel is all because of you. And all I read is all I sow. And love is our living proof. Thank you for life. Thank you for everything. Stand in grace and gratitude. And I thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I thank you, thank you.
Hi, everyone, and I thank you. Welcome to the Revealing Experience. Let's give Jim Bianchi some love. And we have our guest tonight. Cole. You guys had Cole here when Sunshine and I weren't here one night, so welcome again. How y'all doing? Really? Really that good? That good? I believe it. I believe it. Good. So let's sing our welcome song and welcome those who aren't here on in. Come on in. We welcome. We welcome. We welcome you. Come on in. We welcome. We welcome. We welcome you. Let go. Be free.
Come on in and take a seat.
We're glad you're here. We're spreading love, joy, and cheer. So come on in.
Come on in.
Come on in.
Come on in.
Come on in. We welcome you. Come on in.
Come on in.
Come on in.
Come on in.
Come on in. We welcome you. Let go. Be free. Come on in and take a seat. We're glad you're here. We're spreading love, joy, and cheer. So come on in.
Come on in.
Come on in.
Come on in.
Come on in. We welcome you. Come on in.
Come on in.
Come on in.
Come on in.
Come on in. We welcome you. Come on in.
Come on in. Come on in. We welcome you. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. We welcome you. Come on in.
We welcome you. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Love this song. It's like a prayer that we say to ourselves, that we reveal that which is already present. It's an affirmation. I love that. So let's affirm that truth reveal, reveal the love inside of me. Reveal the love that I was meant to be. And every time I open up, love is what I see. Reveal the love in me. The peace, reveal, reveal the peace inside of me. Reveal the peace that I was meant to be. And every time I open up, peace is what I see. Reveal the peace in me. The joy, reveal, reveal the joy inside of me. Reveal the joy that I was meant to be. What?
Every time I open up,
Joy.
joy is what I see.
Yes. Reveal the joy in me. Reveal, reveal the love inside of me. Reveal the love that I was meant to be. And every time I open up, love is what I see. Peace.
Every time I open up,
What?
peace is what I see.
Joy.
Every time I open up, joy is what I see.
Reveal the love. Reveal the love in me.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Sonny. Thank you for the glorious music. And taking a deep breath, feeling the reverberation of the love, the joy, the peace inside each one of us, the peace which is God, the peace which is the truth of God, and therefore the truth of us, for there is no place that God is not, and we are each a perfect manifestation, a perfect representation of God. And as I know that this revealing service reveals yet more deeply that truth of who we are, revealing each of us to ourselves, reminding us who we are and reminding us who our brothers and sisters are. God expressing. In taking a deep breath, I am filled with gratitude for this evening and all that is coming, all that is good, and so it is. And as I know that truth, I was led to the book Words That Heal Today by our founder, Ernest Holmes. And this is from the chapter entitled, The Voice of God to Humanity. Jesus, who knew all things, said that when we keep the eye single, the whole body will be filled with light. Turning to the light, we receive that light. But turning only to darkness, even such light as we have will become dimmed. We cannot serve two masters. If we believe that evil is equal to good or that wrong is equal to right, the mind becomes a house divided. We shall have to desert the one to serve the other. The mind cannot travel in opposite directions without disintegration. It's difficult to think peace in the midst of pain, to rise to a consciousness of joy in the midst of grief, or to believe in good when evil seems the more apparent. Yet the one who knew declared that we cannot serve two masters. He was right. He did not say it's easy to serve but one master. We all know how difficult it is to turn from doubt to faith. Yet this is what he tells us to do. Being a lover of nature, he compared our lives to the lilies of the field and the fowls of the air. The fowls of the air neither sow nor reap, nor do they gather into barns, yet the eternal bounty feeds them. The lilies of the field neither toil nor spin, yet they're clothed in beauty. If God does this for birds and flowers, will he not do as so much for us? Have we really believed in the Father Jesus was talking about? If we've not, have we any justification for denying what might happen should we really believe in what the great way-shower taught? Here is the challenge he sets before us. Do we really believe? Theoretically, we do. Practically, we do not. Such belief as we have is mixed with confusion, uncertainty, and doubt. We pollute the stream of faith with our unbelief. But there's an apparent paradox in the teaching of Jesus. After telling us to believe, to have faith, he states that we cannot add 1 cubit to our statue by taking thought. This appears to be a contradiction until we measure the subtlety of its meaning. Let us take an example from nature, as the great teacher so often did. There's a law of gravitation which holds all physical objects in place. Our thought does not change this law or our stature in it, but we can shift our position in this law. We have personal freedom within it, but the law is not changed by the use we make of it. We may throw ourselves with complete reliance upon the laws of nature, and they will respond if we use them correctly. Our belief neither created nor can it change natural laws. It merely changes our attitude toward them, and therefore changes their reaction to us. Now, let's see what Reverend Sunshine has to say about living a sensational life.
Yeah,
Let's have fun.
that's it. Good deal. Thank you. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Wednesday. Tell me your name, beloved. Yes. Cole? Yeah, Cole was playing the congas today. First time with us, so I just want to recognize you and thank you and honor you for being with our music team today. Thank you for the blessing and the gift of your service and your music. Wow. Living a sensational life. The book that we're exploring and we're reading through this month is pretty thick. And of course, we're going to use it next month as well. So if you haven't picked it up yet, go ahead and pick up the book, because we're actually going to be with it for a little bit. It's The Thought Exchange by David Freeman. And the thing that he talks about that's so intriguing to me is this idea on the front cover: overcoming our resistance to living a sensational life. Now, when I first heard about the book and when I first saw he's got a little movie attached to it, it was kind of coined. I think I told you a little bit about it. It was The Secret Behind the Secret. And I'm like, wow, that's catchy. You know, just totally got me in there, reeled me right in. I want to know the secret behind the secret. And as I began to read the book and see the movie and begin to work with these ideas and his read through his story and read through some of the things that he has actually done in groups, I was particularly intrigued with a group setting that he talked about. And he actually talks about simply having some conversations with folks about what's not working in your life and giving the person the floor. You have, 3 minutes to talk about what's not working in your life. So here's a common one. Oh my goodness. There's 43 cents in my bank account. The mortgage is due, or the rent is due, or the car note, or the car broke down again. There's 43 cents in the bank, or 45, whatever it is. I mean, very, very common. People talk about lack and limitation all the time. And in his particular circle and in this particular group that he started working with, he was entertaining this idea of a thought exchange. And that thought exchange was simply having the person talk about their experience and what they were experiencing And, okay, now breathe. Oh, okay, there it is, it's out. Bleh. Now, the question that was posed was, what must you be thinking in order for you to have that experience? Last week, we talked about mirror, mirror on the wall. I told the story about the echo and talked about life. And an echo simply gives back to you exactly with the same intonation everything that you give it. It doesn't change it around. It doesn't, give it a different meaning. The echo simply gives you back that which is already put into it. Life, mirror, the reflection. Therefore, if this is the experience that this individual is having, what are the thoughts that are producing this experience? And then he made up this thing about having a store. It's called the Thought Exchange Store. And there you would have, all these great thoughts that you can have instead of the thoughts you're currently having. So if I'm having thoughts of money don't grow on trees, what do you think, I'm Rockefeller? Do you think we were born wealthy? Like, I work hard for the money. Like, I'm only making minimum wage, or I work for a nonprofit, or whatever the thoughts are, or there's never enough. No matter what I do, it's so hard to save. Whatever those thoughts are, he makes up this idea that we can take those thoughts, jot them down, and go into this store and exchange the thought. Excuse me, clerk, this thought is no longer working for me. I'd like a new one, please. Wow. Exactly. And that you can then pick from an array of beautiful thoughts, like, my life is abundant. Right where I am, God is. The life of God is abundance. So therefore, I must be abundant. I am rich. I am wealthy. Life is always working together for my good. Life is conspiring for my good. I mean, there are a gazillion thoughts that you can exchange, these thoughts that are no longer working for you. You can just go in and exchange them. No harm, no foul. You don't have to pay extra for it at all. And he found that as a result of doing this for a number of years and working with folks, is that some of these thoughts that were exchanged, they began to make a difference in the lives of the people that he was in circle with. But inevitably, there were some things and some people who just, no matter how much they tried to think and affirm and pray and do whatever, that somehow it never caught. It never worked. And he was wondering and trying to figure out why. What is it? The law of attraction says that which you focus on, you get. That which you think about, you bring about. Same thing done in the opposite. That which you resist persists because you're constantly thinking about it, so you're bringing it about. So the secret behind the secret is this idea that even though we have exchanged the thought for a new thought, and especially because we come to New Thought Community, and now that we've changed and accepted this thought, my life is that life that God is. Or I'm a great singer, I'm going to be a star one day. Whatever maybe some of your dreams were that maybe got shot down and shattered, that somehow or another, there is a physical sensation that begins to happen in our body temple that creates a discomfort. Or at least we label it as a discomfort, when they are simply body sensations. So here's what I mean. He talks about his own story of wanting to live a fuller life. And at 20 years old, he recognized that he couldn't go into theaters, subways, ride the bus, go out in public much. And he recognized that his life was becoming very small and cocooned. So there's the problem. I can't go out in theater, in the public, can't go in the subways, blah, 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 blah. So what must he be thinking? Oh, I must be thinking that there's something fearful or afraid. I must be afraid of something, or that something bad is going to happen to me. So he exchanged the thought, simply, right? I walk freely into the subways and sit next to strangers. I participate in the theater. I go and I sit and I watch a great play or a great musical. However, every time he attempted to do so, he was met by these body sensations that were so debilitating in his mind. But when he really examined them for a moment, he began to describe them. What are the body sensations? What's happening within me that prevents me from actually going out and doing that which I love, doing that which I want to achieve? And he recognized that by simply calling a thing, as my friend Ian Van Sant would say, you got to call a thing a thing. So the body sensations were cold wrist, racy heart, maybe even just, sweat. But he labeled that a panic attack. And for most of us, when we go into strange places, our heart may race, we may get sweaty palms or cold wrists, we may begin to sweat profusely, we may get the butterflies in the stomach, we may have a nervous stomach, whatever it is. He simply said, this is what it is physically. Here's how this sensation shows up in my body. So now he's exchanged the thought. I freely go on the subway, I freely go into the theaters, I freely walk around the streets of New York because I am free. And yet every time he stepped out of the door, all of this stuff would start to happen. Now, in some circles, people would say to him, well, honey, if it doesn't feel good, don't do it. If it doesn't feel good, then at all costs, prevent that feeling from happening. And so the mind develops a thought exchange, the reverse. I can't go out there. I can't go on the train. I can't go on the bus. I can't go out in public. I can't go to the theater. I can't do this. This affirmation, this thing that people tell me, the secret. I try having the thoughts, but as soon as I try to do it, the body says, eh. And that's the rub. That sometimes we believe that because we're having these great thoughts and these great visions and these great affirmations about who we are and who we're going to be, but yet we relate the body sensations to something negative. And we think that it means to stop doing it. And if we just label a thing and just say it's just a body sensation, and move through that body sensation, the body sensations are still going to happen. However, the more we push through and continue to know our good, continue to know our freedom, continue to know our truth, those body sensations will also no longer mean something negative. They just are. Here's a great example of that. I think it's cruel, but some people, to train their dogs to stay in their yard, use an electric fence. The theory behind electric fence is you put a collar on your dog, and then you lay this wire around the perimeters. Now, as the dog, if this is my perimeter, I'm a Great Dane. As I get to the perimeter, if I'm this dog, I begin to feel a sensation because the collar is now shocking me. The closer I get, the higher the shock gets. So, do I label that as wrong or bad? or is that just a body sensation? Do I keep my eye on the prize on the other side, which is freedom from my cruel owners who put this collar on me? Or do I stay within the parameters because I don't want to go through the shock? There's an actor, or even me as a performer on stage, or someone who comes up on the stage. Right before places, everybody, places, people, places, the butterflies. Do I remember my lines? The children, the children, the children. Like, we're getting ready to perform. I want to do a good job. The butterflies. I begin to feel a little bit nervous. My hands get sweaty and clammy. People are so afraid of public speaking all the time. And it's not necessarily stage fright. The thing is am I willing to go through the body sensations to get to the other side, which is where the freedom lies, and begin to relabel these body sensations from something that's negative to something that just is? We've all had it. We've all had it. So do I push through? They call places, and it's showtime. Boom, there goes the lights out. Boom, the show begins. Am I the one who stays backstage because I'm so blocked by that shock, by those body sensations? Or as a performer, a public speaker, someone in the public eye, do I just label the thing a thing and move through it? What happens for many of us who turn away from our new thought, living, and way of being is that we allow these body sensations to debilitate us to the degree that we no longer go for that which is the truth of who we are. When simply on the other side of that is our freedom. I know many dogs who have broken out and said, forget this. They're willing, their desire to experience freedom is higher than their desire to stay in mediocrity and live a miserable life. Is that making some sense? Okay. So, what I like that he says in the book is that just because we have this way of life and this teaching, it doesn't mean that the sensations are going to stop. But what it does mean is through our prayer, through our meditation, through our affirmations, through continuing to do our spiritual practice, as we go through the sensations that we have called negative or that we think are debilitating, that they no longer seem to have the grip or the power or the sting that they had before. It just simply is. And we no longer label it as something scary or negative. Think about this for a moment. Little kids, sometimes we got to take them to the supermarket. Sometimes we got to take them to places where there's a long line. And we get tired of carrying them. They get heavy. We put them down. But we're waiting and waiting and waiting. And what happens to them? They get restless. Their little legs can't really hold on. They get, and in some cases, they can be so vocal and they don't know what to do with this energetic that's in their body. They don't know yet how to say, my feet hurt, my legs are tired, my knees right here, like I want to sit down. When they do this. Unless they can begin to use their words. But sometimes parents or guardians will be like, stay still. Stay still. So now, not only have they been feeling this stuff and they don't know what to do with it or how to speak of it, but now, parent, mom, aka God, our provider, the one who feeds us and clothes us and shelters us and takes care of us, is now so upset with us and my behavior that I get a spanking. So I'm going to do whatever it is that I can now. My lesson as a 2-year-old, as a 3-year-old, is to do whatever I can to avoid the body sensations so that I'm not getting spanked and annoying my parent, my guardian, my provider. And yet that's a lesson that we learn, that we carry throughout life, unbeknownst to ourselves. So, of course, fast forward to adult. Here you are now, and there's a great concert or a great musical or something that you enjoy, and the tickets are going on sale. Tickets are going on sale at 5 o'clock. And you get there, and there is a line wrapped around the corner. What do you say? What do you do? Immediately, the thought may come, I'm waiting in that line? That's just too much trouble. Oh, well. Because the body and the mind will now, instead, you will do anything to avoid the sensation of, my legs, my feet, da-da-da. And the remembrance now of being spanked and being annoying to your parent. So something that happened at 2 or 3 is now affecting the 20-year-old, the 30-year-old, the 40-year-old, the 50-year-old, so forth, and whatnot. We're being informed by a 2-year-old. And that's where we have the work to do. Because the purpose of knowing the secret behind the secret is that as we go through the sensations, as we allow ourselves to recognize that these are just body sensations, and just label the thing, we don't have to label it negative. We don't even have to label it positive. It's just a body sensation. It's just what the body is experiencing in that moment. As we know this about ourselves and as we begin to become aware of it a little bit more, we may have not even been aware of it until now. That maybe that is the missing link that prevents us from truly using the law of attraction, from truly experiencing the great life that we know within us is ours to live. That when we begin to see it in this way and begin to recognize it, that our prayer work, that our meditation work can be around correcting this idea and belief that there's something wrong with the way my body is feeling or the sensations that I'm having. Here's a great example. My eyes are dilated. I'm breathing like shallow, like this, or heavy breathing, deep, heavy breathing. My heart is pounding. I'm sweating. What am I experiencing? I love the answers. Funny, I heard more fear, I heard one excitement. We could be experiencing fear or pleasure. You know what I'm talking about. Shallow breathing, the dilated eyes. We could be experiencing fear or pleasure. It's the same exact feeling. It's the same exact body sensation, and yet one is like, oh yeah, I like that. But it's the same exact body sensation when we're going through something that we might think is a little more fearful. But when we simply call a thing, my heart is racing. My palms are sweaty. I have shallow breathing. And keep my eye on that prize, I can get through that fence, invisible fence, that has been doing these little body sensations, where in the past I've stopped at that and said, oh no, I've labeled it as this don't feel good. So I retreat. Whereas if we just label it what it is, it's racy heart, sweaty palms. I remember at one point, I had a little eye twitch. And because my idea about an eye twitch was like, that's embarrassing, because I'm looking at somebody and my eyes like, all twitchy. But it's just an eye twitch. But I had made up so much stuff about what an eye twitch meant and attached such negativity to it that I would avoid eye twitching or situations that if I was face to face with you and talking to you about something difficult or interesting and my eye began to twitch, even though we were getting somewhere and talking and really having a great conversation, I'd stop it. I'd stop the conversation, excuse me, I have to go, and I'd leave. So that body sensation prevented me from getting closer relationships, from having deeper and meaningful conversations, because I was always so preoccupied with this body sensation instead of just, oh yeah, it's just my eye twitching. It's not a big deal. And still making the connections. So, the more we experience the body sensations, the more we allow ourselves to go through the body sensations, the more we courageously go forward through the body sensations, they will continue to happen, but they will mean less and less of what they've meant in the past. And it will just be something that happens because it's part of our physical makeup. As many times as we've had performers and people, believe me, they will tell you that every time they go on stage, they still get the butterflies, but half the time they don't even notice it anymore. Or half of the time, it doesn't mean what it meant, like the first time. And we begin through our spiritual practice, through our meditation, through our prayer, to really use a fine-tooth comb with what's happening in our lives and stick to our affirmations and also get through the body sensation so that we actually are living this, what you probably thought I was going to talk about, living this sensational life, like it's the bomb, woohoo! And that's how we get to that kind of sensational life, that like bigger than life, bigger than lights, like that big, woohoo, I have arrived. It's because we have to, and we get to, if we choose to, go through the sensational living of the body temple, and simply call a thing, and not have it mean, I can't, I won't, I'll avoid it at any cost. Does that make sense? Yeah. That's a lot to chew on. Somebody once asked me, how do you eat an elephant? And I don't. They said one bite at a time, right? It seems like this big thing. And I think that sometimes when we take on big ideas like this, we just take a little chunk of it. And so as we go into our quiet time right now, with just this little piece, this little idea of maybe becoming aware of our body sensations and how sometimes we make our affirmations and we have our goals of what we want to do and experience. Maybe we can just set our intention now to simply become aware of the places where our body has these sensations and we may not be aware that we're preventing those feelings at all costs, which then means that we backtrack into what we don't want instead of what we do want. So take a breath with me. And just simply settle in. Right here, all we're going to simply do is dwell in infinite possibility. Meaning that there's been something welling up within us that we want to experience, that we want to live out, that we want to have and hold. And there it lies, right there, in this realm of infinite possibility. It's also known as the unmanifest world. And even though we see it with our mind's eye, it hasn't necessarily been made manifest in the physical realm. So we ask ourselves, what must I be thinking for that to become manifested in, through, and as my life? We walk over to it. We step in its space where it and I are one, where you are in the same, occupying the same space as it. It's almost like you're trying it on for size. What must I be thinking in order for this to be made manifest? Be with that for a few minutes. And as we all are open and ready to really experience our good, this life that we've heard about and that we see others living, we're simply ready to really step forward into this way of goodness and grace and really know the freedom that is available to us. And so we stay conscious, we stay aware, we stay awake, remembering that our body sensations are just that. That we get through them to the other side where we totally experience our freedom, our joy, our peace, our abundance. We do our prayer work. We want to experience that joy and that freedom, so much so that we're willing to go through the electric fence. We're willing to simply experience that little bit of a discomfort or uncomfortable feeling to get to the other side. And we recognize that right where we are, God is. And that what we've been labeling these body sensations may have been debilitating us, preventing us, blocking us from fully being our greater yet to be. So we become aware of it, we notice when it happens, and we prayerfully move through it. We bring that into our meditation time, we bring that into our prayer. We begin to give it a different meaning. Recognizing that our life is the life of God, the life of love, of joy, of peace, and abundance. And that's something that we've mislabeled in the past. We're simply letting it go right now. Into the nothingness from which it came. We simply allow it to dissolve, disintegrate, to be released from our body temple. We just shake it loose right now. We do not let it control us. We are driven by our vision to reveal the truth of who we are, to experience the wholeness, the abundance, the clarity, the joy, the peace, the prosperity, the divine creativity and perfect order. And we say yes to this, and we go forth, resting assured that our goal and that our truth is attainable. For this and so much more, I give thanks as we simply scratch the surface now to our great truth. Behold, the kingdom of God is within. Behold, that place where the Most High resides is right within us. Behold, rejoice that it is right where we are and that everything needed is already here and that we make it through to the other side to experience our freedom and our joy. For this I give thanks and I allow it to be. It is so, and so it is. Amen. I can't wait to hear what you became one with. We'll have a moment to hear from you what you became one with in your meditation or what you got out of the talk or the beautiful reading that Candace has read for us today and how that perfectly blends and ties in with exactly what we've been talking about all evening. I'd like to invite our ushers forward, for it is our conscious giving time. Thank you, Jim. And as our ushers come forward, I simply invite you to have in your hand the gifts, the offerings, the blessings that you have brought to share with this spiritual community, recognizing that we're simply participating in the reciprocal nature of life. We're participating in the ebb and the flow, the giving and the receiving. And as we have been given, we also then give. And that as we fully and consciously participate in that we are indeed truly blessed. I know that in our programs today, we have an example of that blessing. It's, of course, for our prosperity program, Gifts of the Heart. And we have yellow heart cutouts today. This is a bookmark and these yellow heart cutouts. But I want you to know that these are special today because these are poppy seeds in these yellow hearts. So, of course, we continue to give and receive. So as you take your yellow poppy seeds and as you begin to plant and experience the joys of this reciprocal nature of life, know that you are blessed and that you are a blessing. So we simply bless those gifts, those tithes, those offerings, that which fills these baskets, knowing that we use it for good and that we in turn redistribute this good, that we might recognize our life as the life of love, the life of God, and that we might continue to have these doors open, that those coming forth may recognize this truth for themselves, that we might awaken to this awareness and to this consciousness. So for this, I give thanks. So it is. Go forth, ushers. So, as you give, you get to receive. And tonight, he's laughing. Do you know why he's laughing? Because tonight, our gift of music is our very own Jim Bianchi. So we're going to give our attention and our love to Jim tonight.
Well, I'm very grateful, and that's what this song is about. I've got a roof over my head. I've got a warm place to sleep. Some nights I lie awake, counting gifts instead of counting sheep. I've got a heart that can know love. I've got a mind that can think. There may be times when I lose the light and let my spirit sink, but I can't stay depressed when I remember how I'm blessed. Grateful, grateful, truly grateful I am. Grateful, grateful, truly blessed and duly grateful. In a city of strangers, I've got a family of friends. No matter what rocks or brambles fill the way, I know they will stay until the end. I've got a hand holding my hand. It's not a hand you can see. Say will shepherd me through the light despair, holding tight and always there. Grateful, grateful, truly grateful I am. Grateful, grateful, truly blessed and duly grateful. It's not that I don't want a lot, hope for more, dream of more. Giving thanks for what I've got makes it so much happier than keeping score. In a world that can bring pain, I will still take each chance. For I believe that whatever the terrain, our feet can learn to dance. Whatever stone life may sling, wherever tight my collar is, we remember we can mourn or sing. Grateful, grateful, truly grateful I am. Grateful, grateful, truly blessed and duly grateful. Truly blessed and duly grateful. Thank you.
Yeah.
My pleasure. Thank
We're grateful for Jim Bianchi. Thank you. That was beautiful. All right. So we have time to hear from maybe a couple of us, and I already see some hands up. So I love it because what we believe and what we know is that we're all revealers of truth. So even with the butterflies, we stand up and we speak, right? We go through the body sensations and we get her done.
Word.
Word.
It's so awesome. I just love how timely some of what you say happens to be. Body sensations. I mean, that's something that I've worked with and through for a long time. We were talking about this evening as far as just having a certain level of speaking in front of people. Some people may have that perception that I have that because I do that. There's times where that initial feeling, that body sensation is just clamming up and whatever it is, and just learning to walk through that. And that's what's so incredible. And what I've found, even over the last 3 to 6 months of my life, there's been opportunities to experience body sensations that oftentimes have been conditioned at some point throughout my life, maybe my childhood, and it can trigger automatic negative thoughts, ants.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, those ants, those automatic negative thoughts, just all of a sudden take us in a different trajectory. And what we know to be true, what I know to be true with this work, is that our thoughts are the seeds that we plant into the universe, and the law is the law, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't discriminate whether it's a positive or negative. Whatever we plant is what we get back.
Yeah.
So being conscious and aware when that body sensation comes up, rather than allowing those automatic negative thoughts just to go on autopilot, to become conscious and aware of it and just know, oh, it's just a body sensation. So I love the context of our discussion. And it's so relevant, not just now, and not just reflecting on the past, but every day moving forward from this point, knowing that whatever that initial sensation is, it doesn't have to dictate that all of a sudden this automatic negative thought cycle, because then all of a sudden those are seeds and the trajectory changes of where I was maybe planting amazing positive seeds over here. So just to become aware of that is amazing. And then whether it's the work that we do coming here on Wednesday nights, the classes, the more we immerse ourselves into it, the more we know that we're working with law. And we know, based upon the results that we produced, this stuff works. Whether it's positive or negative is irrelevant. It's law. So becoming aware of it's awesome. So thank you.
Word.
Word.
Word. Thank you, beloved. See? Yeah. Hi.
Hi, and I'm definitely aware of the body sensations when it comes down to public speaking because I'm scared now. And this is a very welcoming and very loving group, and whenever it comes down to public speaking, I just really freeze up. So I want to dedicate this little one to Sunny because she's been saying, "Why? I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you."
You see it?
So I'm working through the body sensations and just going through, even though it's not very comfortable right now.
Exactly. Congratulations. Congratulations. Perfect. You're going to bring us home. What's up, beloved?
Oh, I feel like we're crossing that wire every day.
Huh,
You know, everybody
yeah.
has that moment where you just, wow, there's that wire right there and the shocking feeling in your body and what you're doing. And that's kind of our small self, you know, expressing itself, and our ego gets in the way, and it's just not allowing God its fullest expression. And that's the way, and it's so wonderful. I love that acronym, by the way, ANTS. I got to remember that. That's really cool. But to me, that seems that we kind of revert to our small self, our little ego self, and our ego self is saying, because it's been conditioned from childhood to believe certain things, like you can't do this, no, that's, you know, or parents saying there's never enough money, anything like that at all. It's all just repetitive thoughts that are going in through your brain on a subconscious level that keeps you small. But once again, to get into the sensational self, we have to recognize the God within and keep that flow going. And that kind of gets rid of some of the butterflies in the stomach and the sensations in your feet there. You feel like you're going to fall to the ground, and just keeping alive.
Thank you. Absolutely. I'm heading up to the stage. Was there anybody else? Anybody else? All right, I'm going to trade microphones with Sunny Daye. Thanks, everybody. What a great evening. What a cool evening that we create. That we create. We create this together through the energies that we bring, through the attention, through the joy, through the love that we give, through the love that we are. We create this service, and we create this energetic. In our bulletins, we got lots of good stuff going on. I usually read from the insert. So if you just take a look at the insert today especially, I want to make sure that I thank. Here's the list of all the folks that I thank. And then I take this list home with me, and then these folks who have been of such loving service are people who are on my prayer list, who I'm just knowing abundance and joy and peace and prosperity for. So our practitioners tonight were Candace Young-Schultz, and of course she represented our practitioner corps right here with that great reading and that beautiful prayer. Thank you, Candace. And holding vigil for us tonight, holding the light, is Rosedale Jones. And I love it when she shows up and when she just comes and is here and just holds the light. I know her son is right over there, and he's just adorable. So thank you to our practitioners. They're going to be available to us after service for prayer. Avail yourself to prayer, especially tonight. If something has come up for you, maybe something was triggered, maybe there's a little inkling, maybe you're feeling those body sensations and you're thinking, man, nah, maybe not, or whatever, walk through it. Walk through it. Don't let the body sensations trigger off some barrage of negative thoughts and take you away from your greatness. Allow yourself to meet with a practitioner, and if you're not comfortable doing that yet, go ahead to the back, fill out a prayer card. And the practitioners and the ministers here would love to keep you in prayer and know the truth for you as we go through our week this week. Sunny Daye, Jim Bianchi, and Cole, thank you so much for the music tonight. We're so gifted through our music program, and I'm so blessed that our ministry is so filled with music because it's just so creative and just so joy-filled. Also, want to thank Melanie in the back. Thank you. She's done our sound tonight. Want to thank Tim. Tim does our live streaming tonight. Thank you, Tim, for just being behind the camera right there, making sure that we are going into the homes of many, many people who are not here with us tonight physically, but are here tonight with us via our live streaming. Thank you so much for your energy and your presence for that. And of course, the woman who makes it all happen and coordinates. She's our coordinator, and that's Jenny Mills. I couldn't do it without her. Thank you so much, Jenny. So we have refreshments outside in our family room. After we sing our closing prayer, the invitation is to gather in the family room. This is a great time for us to maybe have some discussion with one another, sip on some tea, and just be in fellowship together for a few minutes before we hit the road. And we have an opportunity to really even discuss some of the thoughts and the ideas that came up for us. So please use this time for your benefit and for your good, and know that right where you are, God is. I think I'm done. I feel done.
Yeah.
Let me check in with the body sensations. I feel good. Let us rise, please, in consciousness, and we'll sing our closing song together.
Yeah, and next week we've got a special duo
Thank
that's
you.
going to be here.
Yeah, tell us about that. We got some
Janet
great
and
music.
Ryan, and they are just the best. And so they're going to actually start a few minutes early before service and do like a 15-minute prelude. So if you want to come a few minutes early next
Please.
week, there'll be great music, and they might even do a few minutes of music after.
Yeah,
so
please.
They're recently relocating to California from Seattle, and they are just really fun. So Janet and Naraya, and thank you.
Yep.
This is our prayer, a song of peace. We get to be the change we want to see. With open hearts
And open hands,
we lift our voices, in love we stand.
this is our prayer, a song of peace. We get to be the change we want to see. With open hearts, open hands, we lift our voices, in love we stand. We lift our voices, in love we stand. We lift our voices, in love we stand.
I love you. Meet you out in the family room.
Got to be true to myself. Got to be true to myself. Got to be true. Got to be true. Got to be true to myself. Life has come a long way since yesterday, I say. And it's not the same thing over again. Just do what you feel, and don't you fool yourself, I say. 'Cause I can't make you happy unless I am. I say, I say, I say. Got to be true to myself. 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 Got to be true. Got to be true. Got to be true to myself. Take it cool.